In this video, we talk about Yamato and Carrot. I chose to group these two together because they are basically frontrunners of becoming new Straw Hats. Both of them have great backgrounds, ambitions, and most importantly, they thick!
Not.
No, I mean Luffy approves. Let's just get into the video. Let's start with Yamato. She's one of the most interesting characters we've been introduced to. We were led to think one thing and we got another. Personally, I thought she was gonna be an enemy. I thought she was going to be biologically a man. And when we first saw her face, I thought that she was Nami in disguise. So, yeah, she was weird to say the least. And very much like all the characters in One Piece, she's lovable.
Not.
I mean, Oda even made Doflamingo and Big Mom likable, even though they've done some shady. So, Yamato gaining popularity in the community wouldn't be such a surprise. Carrot, on the other hand, she's unique, mostly because of her mink lineage. Her personality is a lot like Chopper's. She's very innocent, wanted to go on an adventure, but she's more mature than we first got to know Chopper. Much stronger too. Anyway, I'm putting these two characters as frontrunners to become Straw Hats after Wano. And let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. Let's talk about their chances of becoming a Nakama. I believe it's very high. They both have great backstories. Yamato, being inspired by Odin, wanted to open up Wano. She goes so far as even taking on Odin's gender. She even got Odin's logbook, and now she's basically an over enthusiastic fangirl of Odin that wants to accomplish what Odin had set out to accomplish. That's a motivated person right there. Anyway, she had a pretty bad childhood, considering that she went against her father, and because her father is a pirate, well, Kaido may have Yamato's childhood. But she's stubborn enough to push through and look to accomplish Odin's dreams and open up Wano. She was also determined to go with Ace, except that she was forced to stay because of the exploding cuffs that were put on her. So she clearly has ambition, which is one of the things that each of Luffy's Nakama has. I imagine that if that's one of the things that Oda wants for each crew member to have, Carrot and Yamato have checked that off their list. Right now, though, since we were just introduced to Yamato, we still don't know much about her backstory. I feel like in the middle of the fight, we could get a surefire, meaty flashback of Yamato and Kaido, because it's Oda we're talking about, with Ace for a healthy dessert in that mix. But she asked Luffy to take her in, explained her side, and got a go signal from Luffy. That makes it more obvious that Luffy thinks of her as a good person or a trustworthy person. Much like every character that Luffy has turned into an ally in some way. Zoro after he saw him eat that dirty onigiri, Robin after she secretly boarded the Going Merry after the war in Alabasta, Buggy when he gave him that Captain John's treasure armlet thingy. Anyway, point is, Luffy thinks Yamato is a good person, so much like Robin, Yamato asking Luffy to join his crew might make her one of the newest Nakama. Plus, she thick! The crew needs more women.
Not.
I'm sure I'm not the only one saying that, but whatever the case may be, in my opinion, she thick. No, her chances of joining the crew is really high at this point. Now, Carrot, as of right now, chapter 990, has the richest backgrounds out of anyone that can be considered as a candidate for Nakama. She has been with the crew since Zou, Whole Cake Island, and up to this point, she was mentored by Pedro, who sacrificed himself so that the Straw Hats could survive. And since Pedro told Carrot that it was so important that the Straw Hats live, she could have inherited Pedro's will, seeing that he sacrificed himself trying to accomplish that mission, becoming the representative of the Minx on the Straw Hat crew. Just like how Izo became the representative of Odin in Whitebeard's ship. Speaking of Odin, she definitely shares the ambition of Odin because she is part of the very loyal Mink tribe. And just like Odin, she wants to see the outside world. So Carrot definitely has a great chance of becoming a part of the crew. Now, both Yamato and Carrot are strong enough to become Straw Hats themselves. They are probably both mid-tiered in terms of combat strength, but we still haven't answered the question, what will be their role on the ship? Carrot has already had experience being the lookout on their journey to Whole Cake Island, so she could continue doing that. She has done a great job doing that before, so I guess she could do it. And together with Usopp, they can surely keep Sunny safe from any kind of attack. Not to mention other hack users there. So, anyway, for Yamato, we don't know what she likes to do yet or what she does yet, but she's taking on the personality of Odin and she possesses Odin's logbook, so she could have easily read what Odin likes to do. And seeing that logbook being the personal possession of Odin, obviously we saw Odin writing in that logbook. She could be the journalist of or the logbook keeper of the crew. We don't know who was in charge of that before in the crew. I'm assuming it was Nami. So that could be a decent role for her to fill on the ship. Obviously, it's just speculation, but Odin is the only character that we can look at for clues as to what Yamato could be doing in Luffy's ship. Because there's nothing else that the crew really needs. They already have all the essentials. Combatants, which are all of them. A captain, which is Usopp. No, I mean Luffy. A doctor, which is Chopper. A chef, who is Sanji. A navigator in Zoro. Just imagine. I saw a meme. It was so funny, so I had to put this joke in. I mean, Nami, obviously. A shipwright for preparing the ship and maintaining it, who is Frankie. And since Jinbei joined, we now have the best helmsman of the crew. The crew has everything they need. Everything else are luxury roles: archaeologist, musician, sniper. These are great roles to fill, but are not necessarily needed to make sure that the crew survives. Obviously, these roles fill in the gaps and make it easier for Luffy to become the Pirate King, and the next members of the crew provide roles that are luxury roles as well. Even the lookout role for Carrot is a bit of a stretch, since we've seen Chopper, Brook, Zoro, and Usopp do it before. So it could be interchangeable. So as far as roles, that's really up for discussion. And I would love to know what your thoughts are about it at the comment section below. Moving forward now, if both Carrot and Yamato join the crew, I expect them to get bounties of their own. I've made a bounty video about a month ago and I didn't include these two in that one. But the link is on the description if you want to check that video out. So, I estimate both of them to be stronger in battle compared to Chopper and Usopp. Maybe comparable to Robin, maybe even Frankie.
A few moments later.
But this will be their introductory bounty, and I'm not sure if a huge bounty will be placed on their heads if they do ever get one. I wanna say that Yamato could be worth about 600 million belly. Given that she basically one-shotted ulti and knocked her out for a while, she seems to know how to use Ken Bunshoku or observation haki. Since she was able to estimate Luffy was hella strong, even though she wasn't serious when they fought each other. Plus, she clashed with both Luffy and Ulti, so it's pretty safe to say that she's able to use Busoshoku Haki or Armament Haki as well. Next, we now have Carrot. I would like to think that her bounty can reach maybe 450 million. She doesn't seem to know hockey, but she more than makes up for it with her Electro and Sulong form. She was able to toy with Daifuku and his whole fleet in the Whole Cake Island chase, even with the massive genie flying at her. Admittedly, Sulong form has some drawbacks, but it's very much like Luffy's use of Haki in Gear 4th. Now, if Oda gives them a low intro bounty, then I would like to think that it's going to be about 150 million belly for Yamato and 120 million belly for Carrot, give or take. Because that's with what we know about their combat strength. And really, that's as low as I want to go. Anything lower, I think, would be too low for them. Anyway, the last thing I want to cover for this video is that at the start of the story, we all know that Luffy wanted 10 crew members besides himself. This also coincides with Blackbeard's 10 Titanic captains. Side note, we know 9 so far, but this is because we haven't confirmed if Kuzan or Aokiji is among those captains. Back to the topic. We have to remember that this was way back in the first how many episodes or chapters in the story. I believe it was the first chapter of the story. That's at least 980 chapters back. Oda could have made his mind in between that 20-year time frame. And lastly, Luffy wasn't definite about that estimate. Some translations say, quote unquote, at least 10 people. Some say 10 sounds about right. But however they translated it, it was never an absolute. Now, with Jinbei joining Luffy's victims, we already have 9 crew members, making Carrot and Yamato fight for a spot in Luffy's ship, assuming that they only have 10 spots on the ship. Personally, I'm with the community here, and the theory that having 13 total crew members sounds like a great number to me. I think that after the war in Wano, Yamato, Carrot, and Ashura Doji are the best candidates to join the crew, but we would have an odd number of a matchup against Blackbeard's crew. So, Teach might need to introduce another Titanic captain or notable characters to his crew on or before he fights with the Straw Hats. I still think that Aokiji is the head of the shield because of what he mentioned to Smoker back when he saved him from Doflamingo. He said that he is still himself. And I think that's a hint to him still being associated in some way with the Marines, but only undercover, right? Because Smoker didn't seem to know. So this has led me to believe that Aokiji might be the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. Anyway, this wraps up today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Crush like if you did, as if you were Yamato, crushing ulti with the Thunder Bagua. Forceful and heavy. Arrgh. Comment down below what you think about Carrot and Yamato joining the crew. And if you love One Piece, subscribe to the channel so it could grow and I can continue to provide you with your much needed One Piece content. Hit the notifications button because on the next video, we're continuing our predictions video of what will happen starting One Piece manga chapter 991 and onwards. So, stay safe now. Peace!